Hi, I'm Pamela Morgan from Pamela Morgan Lifestyle and Flirting with Flavors. And today we're gonna make artichokes. So a lot of you ask me, how do you make an artichoke? It looks so complicated and difficult. Well, I actually make them all the time because I love artichokes and they're so healthy for you. And it's just a great lunch, or it's a wonderful dinner along with a salad or some soup. And it's just one of my favorite things to make. So this is an artichoke. It looks so strange, doesn't it? With these spiky leaves and this long end here. What do you do with it? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to show you how we make an artichoke. And then keep watching because I'm going to show you how to make a really simple sauce to go with your artichoke at the end. Okay, so Artichoke lesson 101. What we want to do is we're going to trim the end of the artichoke. And just like that, okay? And then I'm also going to take off some of the smaller leaves at the bottom because you don't really need them. They're kind of tough. They don't have too much on them. So like this. There we go. That's probably enough. All right. Then I like to make everything all even. So I'm going to trim each leaf right here because it's important what this looks like. You're eating it and you're serving it, and you might be serving it to your friends or your family. And that's so easy. Doesn't take very long to just trim it, and it looks so much better, right? So then I'm gonna cut off the end here, like that. And you can also peel this because this is a very, very tender part. And we want to cook this as well. There we go. Okay. So this is basically ready to go in my pot. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen this too so it looks a little more like a flower. And then it's going to look even prettier when you serve it on a plate. There we go. Okay, so make sure when you put your artichoke in water that you acidulate it. Don't you love that word? You have to because the artichoke will turn brown. So I put a lot of lemon in, like that. And the artichoke calls for 4 artichokes, so I'm just making 1 right now just to show you how to do it. And then I'm gonna add some onion because I wanna flavor my artichoke with whatever is in here, and this will add flavor to it. And this is a little Pernod. So Pernod is a French liqueur, and it tastes like licorice, and it reminds me of France. And I just add a tiny bit, like 1 tablespoon, and it just adds this really different flavor, and it kind of makes it a little bit more sophisticated. And then I'm going to add some white wine as well. Some bay leaves, and this will add flavor to it. Some chopped garlic, because I add garlic into everything. Salt, and some black peppercorns here, and a little bit of olive oil. And there we go. So this is ready to go on the stove, and I'm gonna put it on the stove. I'm gonna let it come to a boil, and then I'm gonna put the lid on. I'm gonna turn it down and let it simmer for about 50 minutes. Now, if you have a really big fat artichoke, it's gonna take a little longer than that. So you really need to taste it and test it by pulling off a leaf. If the leaf pulls off really easily, then you know that it's done. So this is gonna go on the stove. And while it's cooking, I'm going to make a sauce for my artichoke. So a lot of times I'll just make a vinaigrette because it's easy and I have everything all there, and I like to serve a warm artichoke with just a simple vinaigrette. But today I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I'm going to make a black olive aioli. So, oh, I forgot the thyme. I'm just putting a little fresh thyme in here too, because I happen to have it in my garden. So, an aioli is really a mayonnaise, and you could make your own mayonnaise, but for the sake of ease, we are going to use mayo right out of the jar, and we're just gonna flavor it with some delicious ingredients. So into my little food processor goes my mayo. You could use low-fat mayo, avocado mayo, just about anything you want. And then I'm gonna throw in my olives, a little bit of lemon juice, and of course, the garlic. And I'm also gonna add a pinch of salt. The olives are pretty salty themselves, so not too much, and lots of pepper. Okay, so here we go. Done. Okay, that was really easy, right? And this is gonna be delicious. So I'm gonna put this, let me get the spatula. I'm just gonna put this in a little bowl, and then when our artichokes are done, we can dip right into this. Oh, it's a pretty color too. Okay, so I think our artichokes are done. I'm just gonna pull one out. And I turn it upside down to get the water out of it. And then put it on my platter. And I'm actually gonna take it and I'm gonna cut off the end so it will stand up. But you want to eat the end because the stem is delicious. But see how pretty this is? It looks like a big flower, right? And then you could put that right by it if you wanted to. So how do you eat an artichoke? A lot of people don't really know. So basically, oops, you just take one of the leaves like that and dip it in your sauce. There you go. That is so good. Oh, you're gonna love that. Okay, so let's just pretend that I ate all of the artichoke, okay? But I'm down to the choke here. And what do you do with it? How do you make sure that you don't eat it? Well, you have to cut it and trim it. So I'm just pulling off all the leaves here, except it's very hot.
And those leaves are all edible?
Yes, all these leaves are edible, but that's not edible. That's the choke, right? So you want to make sure that you get rid of that because really it does make you choke. They named it that for a reason, and you want to trim it. So I just take my little paring knife here and I trim around it. And I try and get all of this hairy choke away because the best part is the heart. The best part is the heart. Oh, that's so hot. Here, let me get a spoon. There we go. Okay, and now we're down to the heart. And this is the tender part. And I just cut it. And usually I can get a nice big chunk of heart. And I'll dip that also in the aioli. The best part is the heart. You have to dig in order to get it, but it's worth it. This is Pamela Morgan. Enjoy your artichoke, and especially the heart.